Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eddie Rivera with New York Fitness and Boxing. Guess who I got today? Chris Malgeri's here, guys. We're very happy to have him. Just to let you know, this is our 8 o'clock class. Typically, he's doing a lot of Muay Thai training, so he's going to just explain to you what he's doing today. So more on that. Just to let you know, we are running a food drive here at New York Fitness and Boxing. If all of you can come out for the month of May every Saturday and just donate 1 can of food, we can really make a huge difference in our community. A lot of the food pantries in our area are drying up, and we just want to find a way to give back. You can also go to our website and you can just donate $1. That'll also help us out as well. All right, so enough from me. Over to Chris.
All right, how are you doing? Today we're going to take a more of a recovery approach. So what we're doing, we're going to work on a mobility routine for maybe 15-20 minutes, and then I had some people asking about more of the technical aspects of the striking arts that we commonly use. So the things for MMA, for Muay Thai, things like that. So we'll take a little bit of a beginning approach for those of you that maybe have an interest in learning a little bit more about the traditional way of doing things. It will for sure enhance any kind of fitness training that you're doing. So if you're doing something along the line of more, your boxing, your kickboxing, everything is for fitness, this is not going to harm it in any way. It'll make you more efficient, right? How to generate power when you strike, how to work your whole body. So if you're standing in front of the bag, throwing your arms, that's great, but if you're working your legs with it, with proper footwork, that'll be very efficient as well. And then, so if you're watching this live or somewhere within the week, next week we'll start a progressive series of classes where we will be working on some kind of technical basis. We'll work on the stance, we'll work on the footwork, we'll work on basic striking skills. I'll show you guys different ways to do that in a shadow boxing form and different ways to do that on a bag. We'll take some mobility work. So it will be sort of building from the ground up. Some of you guys that train with me privately, you know that I like to have a very technical basis, right? I want you to have a good stance, I want you to have good footwork, know how to use your body to generate striking power. And when you see us just get into the workouts, smash the bag, sometimes it's a little bit hard to follow along because if you don't understand the mechanics of how to throw a kick, for example, you're trying to do 2 things at once. So we'll start an 8-week course or so, twice a week, really making the best of both worlds. Get some technical bases in, also getting some good workouts in. We have, of course, the workouts by Coach Bill and everybody else filmed. You can go back to the YouTube site and pick your favorite workouts that we've done and go from there. So today's mobility work, we're going to do a lot on the ground. I have the yoga mat behind me. We're going to try to get more or less a full body stretch and use movement as recovery. You guys are getting a lot of hard workouts in here. Some of the workouts that I put forth might be a little bit aggressive, so what I'm going to ask you guys to do is take what I'm giving you today, and you can use it in part or in whole, but work on some kind of mobility as a warm-up, use that as a cool-down, use it as an off day, a way to get the body to rest, recover, and really take the time to enhance your movement skills, right? Sometimes it's really great. Sometimes we just smash the pads and hit the bag and go crazy, and then we're pressed for time. We got to get home. We got to feed the kids. We got to do whatever we got to do, and we forget about the stretching. We forget about the mobility. We forget about the breath work, and those are the things that are going to enhance everything, make everything a little bit more efficient. So today's program, we're going to start on the ground. Just keep my timer set here so I can keep you on a good track. And all I want you to do is take the all-fours position. Make sure that the palms are pushed firmly into the ground, your shoulders over your hands, and I want you to round the back, looking between the knees, then arch the back, looking a little bit forward. So take about 5 reps, arch the back, exhale, look straight forward, slight arch. We're going to round the back again for 2, arch the back again, round the back for 3, arch the back. Nice and easy. As you get more comfortable in this position, you'll really start to feel the range of motion improve. It's good. One more. And arch the back. Come to a neutral position, right? In a table position. Putting the insteps of the feet down. I'm going to sit my heels back. And I like to use a little bit of body, right? A little body English when we get to this. What's commonly referred to as child's pose. Forehead resting, arms nice and long. Have your arms hang into the ground. Take about 3 to 5 seconds. back up. Exhale, back down. Have the hands nice and long in front of you. And when you peel yourself into the ground, feel the lats stretch through. Come out, relax a little bit. Little range of motion test, and one more time back to you. And back up, neutral position. All right, now what we're gonna do, keeping my back stable and nice and straight, I'm gonna circle my body. I'm gonna start clockwise. I'm gonna take, feeling the shoulder blades. I'm gonna make a nice circle, keeping my arms more or less straight. Go about 5 or 6 reps. Really loosen up the upper, middle, and lower back. Notice that we're taking a lot of time, switch directions, to warm up the spine first. All right, back to neutral. One more time, we're gonna arch. I'm sorry, round the back, arch the back, and sit down back into child's pose. Nice, take your time, get a little movement into a settled position. 3 breaths in and out. All right, coming forward, we're gonna lay flat, arms extended, bring the elbows in, become sometimes referred to as the Sphinx pose. Now, what I'm gonna have you do is I'm gonna have chin down, and slightly looking up. We're gonna get our neck loosened up a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're gonna move towards you so you can see we're gonna take the diagonal. We'll look over at my right shoulder to neutral, left shoulder to neutral. Loosening up the neck, nice and easy. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now when you're doing this on your own, these little head nods are a great way to loosen up upper back. Sometimes change directions. Nice and easy. We don't want to challenge the range of motion too much. Just trying to get a nice, gentle stretch in the neck and upper back. All right, so turning to the side again. We're going to start. We're going to come through a very classic stretch position. We go from child's pose. Come up with a rounded back. Go through. All the way through. Back to child's pose. Come through. Let's go 2 or 3 more. And 1 more. All right, very good. Settle into child's pose. Take some stress off your hips. Next one we're going to take, I'll show you this from 2 directions, is a scorpion position. I'm going to take my arms out to the side, palms facing down, and I'm going to bend my left knee. All I want you to do, when I bend my left knee, I'm going to look away from you to the left. Just want you to touch your foot to the floor, go back to the center, look at your right hand, right knee bends. Just touch your foot to the floor to the opposite side. We don't have to go that far. There's a couple different versions. So you can go side to side, just loosening up, getting a gentle stretch, a little bit of a twist. So you notice, I'm not trying to touch my opposite hand with my foot, nothing too crazy yet. Keeping my chest, getting a little stretch into the pecs, getting a little stretch into, nice through the hips. And all I'm doing is touching down on the other side of my leg. In successive weeks, get a little deeper into this. Try to challenge our flexibility and mobility a little bit more. One more each side. All right. Arms to neutral and press on up. All right. So, have a seat. I'm going to face you, be a little more clear. Taking the hands, balance behind us, feet flat. First set of exercises, we're going to do our knee drops down to one side, down to the other side. Nice and easy. All we're doing, now loosen up our hips. 1, 2, take your time, control the range of motion. A few more each side. Now we're going to go a little deeper in this stretch. What I'd like you to do is have more or less a 90 degree kind of position with your legs. I'm going to turn my body towards my left knee, gently approach, head approaches, touching the floor. Come up and switch sides. Find your balance first, nice and easy. Go a little deeper. Now if you need to switch your hands in order to switch your base, your legs, no problem. As you develop more control, switch without using your hands. Really get those hips warmed up. If I'm going to do a lot of kicking, a lot of bag work, this is a staple for kickboxing of any sort, with Muay Thai, Sabat, whether an MMA class. One more on each side. And last one here. All right, so we'll do some knee circles here. I'm going to face the slight diagonal so you can see. All fours position. Now, I'm going to keep my knees a little close together underneath my center of gravity. Raising my right leg, I'm going to make a circle with my knee, as if I was drawing a circle with the head of the knee. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch sides. I'm going to change so you can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. So, moving along, we're going to take our squat position. So stand up and shake out a little bit. We go into our squat. I like to keep my toes about a 45-degree angle. Now, for the beginning, when I squat, if you can come down about where your tailbone is about the level of your knees, and that's the depth of your squat, that's fine. If you can go a little bit deeper without any ankle, hip, or knee problems, that's fine. Elbows or forearms pushing out slightly against your inner groin. And I want you to just move side to side, getting comfortable in your squat position. We have several variants of this where we can go deeper into our squat, really improve our squatting position. So from here, my hand's going to reach down. You can grab your insteps or your shins, or you can keep your hands on the floor. Come up to a forward bend, stretching through the hamstrings. Sit down in between your heels. Go back to your squat. We're going to do this a total of 5 times. 1. Nice and easy. Now, if it's easier for you to hold onto your ankle, or your shins rather, that's fine. Right? If you're coming down to your squat and maybe you're only coming so far where your tailbone is in, that's fine too. And as you come up into your forward bend, hands to the thighs, get a nice stretch through the hamstrings. Let your body hang. If you're a little more comfortable, deepen the squat where you can grab both insteps. All the way up. And down. Up. And down. One more time, up. Now, one vertebra at a time. I want you to keep a slight bend in your knees, tight glutes, and I want you to roll your body up. One vertebra at a time to a standing position. Okay. One of my favorite series coming up next. I'm going to kneel. When we take our kneel, your toes can be up and step down, your choice. What's important, you have a 90-degree angle, 90-degree angle. So, first series, 5 repetitions each side. When arms are going to come up, you're going to keep a slight contraction in the supporting leg glute, and we're going to imagine tucking our tailbone underneath as we stretch through the hips. It's a lunge position, but what's important is the action of the tailbone tucking underneath as we follow our arms up. 1, return. 2, return. Loosen up. 3, through the hips. 4, and 5. Good. Come to neutral first. Switch sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, excellent. I'm going to face you for the next one. I'm going back to my left kneel. So my left leg's in front, 90-degree angle, right leg at 90-degree angle. This next one is going to look like I'm stretching through the upper body, and indeed you are. But what's important is, as we're stretching from side to side, you want to imagine your hips are trying to touch one and another wall. When I reach with my right arm, my right hip is pushing out. I'm really focusing on the directionality of the hips, right? So I want to stretch through my entire rib cage and across everything through the hips. Not just my upper body, but get my hip involved, as if I could touch the wall from side to side with my hips. It's going to pay off huge dividends in the recovery aspect of your training. Switching legs, let's go again. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Switching our base. One more. Kneeling position. Now, still concentrating on the rotation of the hips. What I'm going to do, 90 degrees, 90 degrees, I'm going to turn my upper body, try to touch wall to wall. Spinal twist. Get a nice mid-back and low back stretch. All right, switching sides. And all right, back to it. Come on up. Next exercise. We're going to come down to all fours. We're going to work a little bit on some variations from the downward dog exercise. Get a little bit deeper in the stretch. Turning your toes underneath. Lift your hips up nice and high so your heels are off the ground. Then push your heels back into the ground. Feel that nice deep stretch through your calves. Start to walk out, raising and lowering the heels. Stretch deeply through the Achilles tendons, the calves, into your hamstrings a little bit. Both heels up. Bring your feet a little closer together. Both heels down if you can. From here, putting your weight on your hands, take your right leg, step up, so your shin across your body. Sorry about that. And sit down, crossing the right shin in front, left leg's long behind, in what we sometimes refer to as the pigeon stretch. Good for your hip into the glute a little bit. Keeping the weight a little bit on the hands for now. I just want you to roll in and out of the stretch a little bit. Try to deepen the stretch. Variation 1. Inhale, exhale, forehead down to the floor. Now, press the body up nice and tall. Nice high stretch. Good. From here, turning the left foot, ball of foot to the ground. We're going to go through the push-up position, back to a downward dog. Walk it out a little bit with me. Feet close. Take the left foot across and the right foot long. Nice pigeon position. Now, sometimes you can do this on a couch if you don't have quite the flexibility. Makes it a little bit easier, a little bit better range of motion. Very gently move in and out of the stretch. Let your hip adjust through relaxation. Finally, forehead down. Come up, nice tall position. Putting all your weight onto your hands, take your left leg back behind you. Now, walk your legs back to downward dog position. Walk your hands in, try to inch one back. Bend the knees, straight up. All right, as I frame myself back to the middle, to give you an idea of what exercises we can do for recovery, get our body to feel better. In general, it's important to warm up properly. It's very important to cool down properly. And in many circles, especially in MMA, in the past, in the 80s and the 90s when we were training, we took no stock, at least in the general scheme of things, in how to take care of our bodies, right? We trained really hard. Some of us ate pretty well, but the idea of doing lots of yoga or recovery or that kind of thing was not the standard practice. It's much more common now. You can find all kinds of mobility lessons and other things through a lot of different organizations. That's super important, right? Could be yoga based, could be something like we work on here. Now, what I like to share, because I had some questions, so we'll take a few minutes. My first lesson when I'm training somebody in any of the boxing and kickboxing styles, doesn't matter what stance we're using necessarily. It could be pure boxing stance or any variation of that. It could be in French kickboxing, Sabat. It could be in Muay Thai. It could be in what we call the Jump on JKD kickboxing. If I'm training somebody for MMA, we have a modified stance to accommodate the wrestling aspects. Regardless, I would like you to have 4 fundamental footwork patterns that will help you in achieving all of your goals, whether it's fitness goals, whether it's being technically proficient in martial arts, or whether it would be being proficient in some kind of combative aspect of the martial arts, whether it's just for sparring, or maybe you guys want to do some competitions. Footwork is the key to life, right? In many styles, people in MMA, we're a little lazy on the footwork, and it really show up in their performance. So what I'm going to show you is the basic pattern, and then over the successive weeks, how we can put some exercise together that you can do on your own, right? I'm not really preferable into which stance you use right now. That's going to be determined by how you're competing. If you're competing in MMA, we stand one way. If it's pure boxing, we stand a different way slightly, because we're trying to accommodate a vast array of skill sets. So to get started, we have what we call the step slide position. We have the slide and step, we have the push shuffle, and then we have the quarter turn or the pivot, right? So these are, every coach is gonna have a different name. All of my coaches call these something different, but it's very important that you get these down. In the fitness realm, when you guys are training, using the footwork to get in and out of the bag instead of just standing there and hitting is really going to train your calves, your quads, your hamstrings, your glutes a little bit more. So even from a fitness perspective, this is very important. Facing the front, I'll do 2 ways. If I'm in my basic stance, when I'm in my stance, if I want to go forward for the first pattern called step and slide, my front foot goes first, my back foot goes the same distance. When I retreat, my back foot goes first, then my front foot comes same distance. So we will advance, step, step, retreat, step, step, advance, 1, 2, retreat, 3, 4, advance, 1, 2, retreat, 3, 4. From the side it looks like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Some people prefer to slide the back foot, step and slide the front foot. Some people prefer 2 steps, step, 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 step. Myself, this is my preference. You have to play with it a little bit. It also depends on what you're doing. Step and slide, advancing, left, right, because I'm in my left stance, retreating, right, left. We'll do 5 reps. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Turning to face the front. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Really simple. Footwork number 2, slide and step, is the opposite, the natural opposite, specifically for kicking. My back foot is going to come up to replace my front foot, which will step forward. It's almost like you're skipping, but I want you to avoid the idea of coming up and down with the rise and fall, but keep your head at a same neutral level. Slide, step, slide, step, slide, step, slide, step. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Very simple. Facing the front, slide and step. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Number 3. Number 3 is called a push shuffle. It looks a little bit like a step and slide, but it's more dynamic. It's more explosive. From the side. A step and slide starts with my front foot, then my rear foot follows. A push shuffle, I push off the back leg and project myself in and out of the footwork. So slightly different in intention. Step and slide, footwork 1, just my front foot goes, my body weight follows. Push shuffle, from my stance, I project my body forward together at one time. For example, when you're using your jab, naturally you'll be using a push shuffle. So we advance, retreat, advance, retreat. When I want to go forward, I push off the back leg. When I want to retreat, I push off the front leg. Advance, retreat. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Facing the front. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, now, the 4th and final one for our basic program is, we're going to call this the quarter turn. It's convenient for a classroom setting because we're all pivoting the same amount. So, basic version. If I'm facing the front, we'll call this 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I'm going to turn my body 90 degrees to face 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, back to 12 o'clock. My rear foot is pivoting and stepping behind. My front foot, for version 1, is pivoting in place. So if I imagine I'm in the center of a circle, my opponent is on the circumference, they're trying to circle me. I'm just pivoting, 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 pivoting. I'm in the center, they're trying to get around me somehow, right? There's a bunch of versions of this. This will be the first one. So we'll take it together. Pivot 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times to get back to where you started. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So, those are your 4 fundamental footwork steps. Step and slide. Slide and step. push shuffle, quarter turn. Everything else stems from this, some kind of variation on this. So if you have other instructors, if you have other things that you've seen, these are our 4 fundamentals. Crossing footwork, switching footwork, step, all that kind of stuff will come as we get good at this. Your footwork is your offense. How to get powerfully my strikes, my elbows, my knees, my kicks to my opponent. Your footwork is your defense, right? So if I'm trying to defend something, having the ability to move away as I defend is paramount, unless you like getting hit, which I don't know how much I can help you with that. If you're into that kind of thing, you might need to get a different coach. I'm not a fan of getting hit. It takes way too much of a toll on my body nowadays. I would rather evade everything and avoid everything as I can. So I encourage you to work on your footwork to do the same. This is your mobility system. So a little bit of practice every day on the basic steps will be fundamental. Next week, if you're watching this in real time or success in classes, we're going to go through, and after we do our quick warm-up, we'll be going through a footwork pattern, and we'll be doing different footwork sections as a little bit into our shadow boxing and a little bit more into cardio. As you get comfortable with these things, we're going to use these things and make them a little more dynamic, a little bit more athletic, and try to bring some skill into your training, whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, right? So I'll be breaking this stuff down for you in a little bit more detail. I plan on doing about a 5 to 7 to 10 minute segment of just footwork, really working on our speed, working on mobility. We may work on the agility ladder sometimes. Don't worry if you don't have one, you can just visualize it. We may be working on exercises to enhance your footwork in a more of a jumping jack kind of frame. If you have a jump rope, there's thousands of jump rope exercises that will also help your foot timing, your mobility, and your basic overall, your rhythm and your speed at which your feet can move. So today, I hope that you can see the footwork patterns. You can take some time to practice them. We will review these on Tuesday, and we'll keep plugging forward so that you guys can become more proficient. On Tuesday, we'll also start working a little bit more into the cardio and get you guys going a little bit more shadow boxing, hitting the bag, making it a little bit more of a total package workout. So I appreciate your time and your attention. If you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of us. And for those of you guys that I'm seeing via Skype and for our lessons that we're taking up, please contact me when you're ready and we'll keep reviewing everything. So I'm going to invite Coach back in to close everything up, and I'll see you guys later.
Fantastic. Well done. Well done. I was watching from the side. I'm definitely super interested in taking some of your classes, because I can show you them. Guys, I hope you really enjoyed that. I thought it was magnificent from the sideline. When you guys are ready and we're open, I hope all of you come and you become part of the New York Fitness and Boxing family. As he said, he's available, guys. He's available for privates. He can do this on Zoom. He can do this on WhatsApp. You know, pick a vehicle. We can make it happen. Right, we're doing it right now. So if you're enjoying this, he can do this on one-to-one with you guys. So all you got to do is reach out to us and we can make it happen. All right. All his videos are on our YouTube channel. So this is one of many that he's already started, and we're very blessed to have him here. So we want to continue doing this with Chris and bring you to some of this Muay Thai training, because it's fascinating to me as well. All right, guys, we're running that food drive I keep talking to you guys about. This food drive is going to be huge for us and huge for the community. So if you want to donate money, that's cool. We're going to take that money. We're going to go to the local grocery stores, and then we're going to purchase those food items, and then we're going to take them over to the food pantries around us. So we're trying to do the best we can with supporting our community, and you can help. All right, or come down this Saturday between 9 and noon and drop off a can of food. One or two cans. That's it. All right. Non-perishable though. No pizza, no hamburgers, no French fries. All right. Anyway, talk to you soon, guys. See you soon. Bye.